First, game breaks, no hits, you know it up, put on more steam. Projectile kickers, our quarterback, our leading our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, slides, through the games after this win in. Rush you again, here for the first minute. Can everybody keep it there for 6 minutes?
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Just look around. You got the mountains, you got the most beautiful city in the whole entire country. The university is absolutely, looks like it's out of a storybook. It's just beautiful. People are incredibly genuine and extremely nice. It's just a place that obviously I'd want my kids to go to school. And it sells itself. You don't have to sell anything about this place. You just got to get them here. You know, the old field of dreams. Yeah. Build it and they will come. It's already built.
Consistent competitors, elite competitors. You're the same guy every single day. No matter who's in the stands, everybody 102,000 or nobody. Opponents nameless, is faceless. Being consistent in the way that we approach the game. We had a good start to the football game.
Yeah, they're scared. You get me? Like you can't double him or chip him or because you got me on the other side. And if you want to put a guard on me, you got Omar or Don Bailey on the 3 takes. Like you can't do nothing with that. You feel me? So offense they see us all out there. They're scared. Everybody's worried. Like so, it feels good when we're all out there.
The culture that Hype and everyone has created in this building, it's been phenomenal on teams, and we're only going to continue to be better. And the standard around here, I've said it before, I'll say it again, standard is to be the damn best. And we're never stopping.
Who got my back? I got your back. Who got my back? I got your back. Who got my back? I got your back. We play for another. We fight for another. Every fight, every play, every round. Hey, Tennessee on 2. 1, 2. Tennessee. Ball, that team ready. Ball, that team ready. Ball, that team ready.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley, hanging out with Dauber. X Factor's in the house. Coach Rice is here. Man, oh man, does it feel like it is football time in Tennessee? I feel like we got a different energy tonight, boys. Man, y'all missed the best pregame show ever. I'm gonna start selling tickets. I'm gonna make it a freaking Patreon tier. You want to see what goes down in the back room? You want to see the real ones. You want to see what happens before Talkin VAWLS live. You got to sell tickets to this, man. I feel like the energy levels are high, as Jason likes to say. Keep the vibes in the chat both high. I don't know what Jason means by that. Jason, I don't think you live out in California with Coach Jay, so I don't know what you're talking about. But boys, the stage is set, man. Hollywood, speaking of California, Hollywood could not write this freaking thing up any better. The first ever SEC game for Oklahoma. Nico Nico's first game on the road. We heard it. We heard it in the preseason. Nico likes to go on the road. This is going to be his big-time test. First ever road game for Nico. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if y'all know this. I don't know if you noticed, our head ball coach just so happened to win a national championship for our opponent coming up this week. Heisman runner-up. Later, he coached there, got fired by Bob Stoops, and some people left comments on my video this week, and they said, Boogie, Bob Stoops is long gone. He has nothing to do with Oklahoma. He's got a weird little title. It's like special assistant. He's a special assistant to the AD. You don't think Bob Stoops has his fingerprint all over the Oklahoma program? Man, oh man, Dauber, you couldn't write it up any better. How big? How the season starts now. We've been talking about it all offseason. Starts now.
I mean, this was the swing game. We said this sets the momentum for the rest of the season for this team to go on the road to Norman. First conference game for Oklahoma. A lot of stuff riding on it. I got some chill bumps backstage before we got on. Coach Rice was pumping us up like Dylan Sampson was pumping those guys up in the.
Wait, what? He was pumping you up? Because he was making me want to freaking spit daggers. He made me want to fist fight.
Yeah, everybody's getting fired up, man.
I feel like
fired up.
Team championship match. Me and Dauber versus the X Factor and Coach Rice. Who y'all riding with in the chat?
On the top ropes.
In that street fight. Yeah, we coming off these top ropes. Coach Rice, how fired up are you, man? This is a big one. It's a big one.
Hey, I'm stoked, man. I'm super pumped. I know Tennessee's going to bring it Saturday. I know these guys have been wanting to get at it at some real competition. They talk about it. This team's being, very mature about their, attention to detail each and every day, not only in the game, but in practice, bringing that veteran mentality of, getting the job done each and every day, not only winning 1-0 each week, but winning 1-0 each practice. And, this team is different, y'all. We've seen it through 3 games, but this team is very different. I'm so ready for Saturday because this team is special. I think we're going to see in the spotlight, everyone will see just how special this team is, and there will be no more excuses.
Yeah, same thing with me, man. Like I said, I'm so excited. Because listen to y'all. This is the game where finally all, the doubters, the haters, well, it's just Chattanooga. Okay, all right, cool. Check. We got that. Game 2. Oh, it's just NC State, top 25, opponent. We give them their respect, for what they are, but it's still NC State. Okay, check 2. All right. But this game right here, though, yeah, like I said, look, they're going to keep moving the goalposts by saying, like, well, it was just Oklahoma, I was like, okay, all right. But like I said, then, oh, yeah, we knew he was going to put up, a goose egg against Kent State. Like, yeah, I mean, that's true. But nah, man, I'm really excited about this game. I'm fired up. I'm pumped up. Like I said, this could be a chance to doubt all the haters, the naysayers, whatever you want to call it, and show the world that we mean business.
You know what I'm sick and tired of hearing? I'm sick and tired of hearing about who Tennessee played. Like, to hear some of these Oklahoma fans talk, you would think that they've gone out and played Texas and Georgia and Alabama and all these elite programs. Boys, that's not the case. You beat Temple. Congratulations. You barely beat Houston. You beat Tulane. I get it. Is Tulane better than NC State? I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm sick and tired of hearing this nonsense about how, well, Tennessee's not played anybody, and they haven't. They've not played anybody. They got to go out. They're going to prove it against Oklahoma, but guess what? Oklahoma has not played anybody either. Let me catch up with you guys in the chat. We got a few super chats here. Jackie Biggle drops a $10 super chat, says, hey, Boogie and Ball family, got my TV recording set for the game because I will be at the Notre Dame game. Bless my heart. Just look for the orange in the stadium. GBO. Well, try to have fun, Jackie. We're going to miss you, man. We're going to miss you on the tailgate show. So, but have fun. Go enjoy that game. That should be a fun campus to go take in the game. So, enjoy it. Rip drops a $5 super chat, says door fee. GBO dropping those custom Talking Balls emojis. We appreciate you, Rip. John Watt also drops a $5 super chat and says door fee. We appreciate those door fees. I don't know if some of you new people know there's a rule around here. We got 230 people watching live. We need to fix that first of all. Hit the thumbs up, share out the link, let people know we're live. There is no excuse. There's no excuse. It's a huge game. Let's grow this chat, share out the link, let people know we're live. But for all you newcomers, there's a rule around here. You're supposed to pay a door fee. Tip the man on the way in the door. John Watts does that, drops a $5 super chat. We appreciate it. Coach Jay is here. I saw somebody in the chat said, "Where's Coach Jay?" I fired him. I'm sick and tired of his mouth. So I fired him, but he'll be back Friday morning, 9 a.m. Talkin VAWLS morning show. So grab your coffee and join us for that. He dropped an $8 super chat. Says Nico has played 7 out of 12 quarters. What are his stats? If that number is 12 out of 12. It's Heisman Trophy top numbers. Somebody in the media, I won't say his name, but it rhymes with Hooker, was talking trash about Nico. Talking trash about Nico this week. And I sent Coach Jess text. I said, do we need to be professional or do we need to be unprofessional and go on the attack? He said, maybe we should sleep on it. And he never texted me again. So I think Coach Jay wants me to be a little bit more professional around here. Sling Blade drops a super chat. He says, door fee, we appreciate you, brother. Summerall 33 Tony drops his door fee. We appreciate you. Thank you for the support. Tommy Downs says, I want to be a member. I'm going to join that emoji access. You guys can do that for $1 a month. That's it. Just $1 a month. We appreciate it. There's strength in numbers. Those memberships keep the lights on around here. So shout out Tony. Aiden Stills drops a 20 spot. That's Orange Boy. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top!
Woo-wee. Aiden says it is national championship time. Boogie. Dude. There's something special about this football team. And Coach Rice just talked about how they don't just win the week. They win every day in practice. And I was listening to, I think it was Pancakes and Bacon, listened to a lot of Tennessee content today. And they were talking about how this team goes about business day in and day out, whether the opponent is Chattanooga, whether it's Kent State, whether it's NC State, they show up and they go to work. And that's, man, you can't teach that. I think we got something special. National championship starts on Saturday. Jackie drops another 20 spot. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top!
Jackie says, door fee, Boogie. Much love for this group. Thank you, Jackie. We appreciate you, brother. Much love for you and this community, man. I love this community. I love the fan call-in shows, Sunday nights or something else. So thank you, Jackie, for being a part of the family. Got to be on the halftime show this week. We kicked Coach Rice out. We said, Coach Rice, you didn't watch the game. You sit in the back room. And then he came in the third quarter and he said, Boogie, I'll watch the first half. I said, well, you should have told me that. But Jackie got to be an honorary member of that halftime show. John Mills for 5 says, my daughter Peyton's birthday is Saturday. Told the wife, even Stone has to. What does that say? Everybody's got everyone. I bet he said everyone has got to be gone by 5 p.m. Kick him out, John. Kick him out. Ken Savage becomes a member of the channel. Thank you, Ken. We appreciate that. All right, we're caught up. Not yet. We got another super chat here from Tommy Downs. Tommy Downs for 5 says, Dorothy Vols is going to blow them out Saturday, 48-13. Go Big Orange. Nelson's calling me a cheater. Well, Nelson, you snuck in the back door and didn't pay a door fee. So who's the real cheater? I don't cheat. I dominate. All right.
Who's the cheater and who's the cheapskate?
It ain't. Oh, you heard X. I didn't say that. X said that.
I love you,
Wait,
Nelson.
Hold on. People are saying I don't follow people on Twitter. All right, there's only one man that can save this show. It's off the rails already. Y'all hearing me yell and scream, and I almost cussed. There's only one man that can save this show and get us back to where we need. Let's get our weekly dose of Ron Slay.
So let's go to Jake and Franklin. Jake, what's up, man? You ready for this game coming up on Saturday?
Y'all, I wish I was. I'm calling with my hat in my hand. Here's the deal. My heart's with OU, but my money sadly has Tennessee minus 17.5.
17.5.
Damn.
Yep.
You feel better about it than we do.
It hurts me.
Hey, Jake, let me tell you something, brother. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. You get down on your knees right now. You put your hands up to the ceiling or wherever you are. And guess what? Big Orange Jesus is going to shine down on you, man. We appreciate you. You ain't do nothing but come on here and tell the truth.
Big Orange Jesus.
And he thanks you. You know what I mean? I'm by way of me. He thanks you. Listen, here's what I want y'all to do. Get that little schooner. Take the top off, you ain't gonna need it.
Take the top off the schooner?
Yeah, because we're gonna blow it. Ain't the schooner the little wheel wagon thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, take that up off of there. You ain't gonna need that. You ain't gonna need that. We want to see you when you come out of there with the little 2 ponies. They ponies or horses? What are they? Donkeys?
I don't think they're donkeys.
Put them donkeys because they need to go a little slower. Because we coming high powered, baby.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what, man. You better go get Roy Williams. You go call Roy Williams, see if he can come get Stoops back in on the sideline. Go call Darinoka, because he gonna push. He gonna push for it. As an OU guy, I'm gonna tell you, go get Kevin Sampson back in there, get him away from Houston. You need all the help you can get to get the old Oklahoma feel for what we coming in there to do.
Adrian Peterson?
No, don't go get him.
Yeah, no. We don't want to smoke with him. Nah,
Dude, somebody do me a favor and get Ron Slay on the Talkin VAWLS network. I feel like
Yes.
me and Ron Slay going back and forth is going to be clip worthy. Look at Mr. Humblebrag up there. Oh, I got autographs and I got fancy things and I got a nice background, but I don't have internet that works.
Hey, it's fixed. It's fixed, brother.
Let's dude, how much does Ron Slay like? What's your vibe, Dauber? When you look around Twitter, Facebook, I don't think Oklahoma fans are confident. I don't.
Nah, man, some of the stuff I've read, they're not looking forward to Saturday. They've got a lot of stuff going on, offensive line issues. I said going into the season, this game for me was kind of a toss-up. I kind of leaned more towards Oklahoma.
He's about to change his pick.
I've already changed it.
He's already changed.
I've already
He changed
changed it,
it last
brother.
X doesn't subscribe to the Talkin VAWLS
know.
network. He didn't know that.
It just with all that, I thought, okay, going on the road is going to be tough. But man, what this Tennessee team has shown through the first 3 games, they're going to put up points. Nico is efficient, spreads the ball around, and man, he's getting stuff done. And like Coach Jay said earlier, he's not even played. I'd say maybe 2 full games when you add them all up. But the issues that Oklahoma has on their offensive line just plays into the hand of what I think is really kind of the background story and what I think is going to take this Tennessee team to the next level is this defense. This defense is elite, fellas. It is. You add that with the weapons on offense and Coach Heupel scheming up plays, and I tell you what, fellas, I think there's something special brewing in Knoxville. And Boogie, we talked in the offseason. We said, well, we don't know what to expect 2024. 2025, that's the year.
Shoot.
That's the year we're dialing it up. But, man, I think with, like, everything that Coach Heupel has done, he's pressed fast forward and exceeded kind of expectations and just the culture and the whole vibe around the program, I think there's a lot more to say about that and the momentum. And sometimes that makes up for anything that you're lacking.
What do you think, Coach Rice, about Coach Jay bringing up that Nico? He's not played 4 quarters yet. Like he's, and I think it was Josh Pate. Dude, let me tell you something. Usually I like me some Josh Pate. Usually I like me some J.D. Pickell. I don't think they're watching Tennessee games. I think they're sitting back and they're looking at stats and they're looking at numbers and they're forming a narrative off of that. One of them was talking about Tennessee's defensive line not really being that efficient so far. What are you watching
the game?
What are you watching if you think that Tennessee's defensive line's not been efficient? You weren't watching them dominate in the run game. And yes, the TFLs may not be there against Chattanooga and Kent State. I don't freaking care. When you're running the ball for less than 2 yards a game, that's elite play on the line of scrimmage. I think they're looking at numbers. They're looking for stats.
Yeah.
I got a video out there that says, "Where's James Pierce?" That triggers some people. It ain't about stats. It ain't about numbers. It's about dominating. It's about not giving up a touchdown in 4 games. I tried to ask Coach Rice a question, then I start rambling. Nico has not played 4 quarters of football. Yeah. He's going to go on the road to Norman, Oklahoma. It's going to be a hostile, electric environment. It's his first road game. I know he says he likes to play on the road. We also heard Joe Milton say that he never loses in Florida. It is what it is. As an offensive coordinator, you concerned that your quarterback's not played 4 games yet? 4 quarters. Did I say games? What am I doing?
Yeah, full 4 quarters. I mean, I'm maybe a little worried just because I want my quarterback getting as many live reps as possible, which is not his fault. I mean, you got to get him out. You don't want to risk injury, but he's still young. Coach Jay even he's talked about when do we see Nico really hit his steam, really take off. And me and him both, kind of early in before the season even started, said this would be Nico's coming out party. This would be the game where you see him take off. And me personally still thinks with him not having the full game yet, I'm a little worried that early in the game with Brent Venables, given the way he mixes up his defensive coverages, if we don't win the early downs and Venables is able to, make that back end chaos to Nico's eyes, early in the game, you may see maybe not interceptions, but the offense maybe kind of, have to fill the game out. And so that's the only reason why I'm kind of concerned. The reason why Nico hasn't played a full game yet and gotten those live reps. Not saying that he is not going to go out there and dominate, because I fully do think he's going to go out there and dominate. I'm just saying if they don't win the early downs, that's Oklahoma's way of trying to mix up and confuse Nico. So, and really that's with any defense, but I think long term in this game, I think Nico's stats are going to be there, and I think you're going to see what we all thought we'd see, where this would be the game where Nico gets to play all 4 quarters and he has those Heisman type stats. That I really do. I think that's the way what we're going to see come Saturday.
And then too, like, I mean, I know that we're saying, like, we're kind of, like you said, Coach, you're a little worried about Nico, but also remember too, you got Dylan Simpson to worry about, you got a Dante Thornton to worry about, you got a Squirrel White to worry about. Like, Nico has so many weapons around him that were like, no, he doesn't have to be, that hero to win the ball game for us. I mean, this whole offense, man, like once it starts getting in rhythm and clicking on all cylinders, you got a lot of problems to worry about than just Nico just sitting back there throwing. So,
well, I mean, and that's why I talked about winning first and second down. You have to, and because that's where Venables, that's where most defenses can really cause chaos when you're 3rd and 7 and longer, where they can bring blitzes and zone pressures and all types of stuff. So that's what I mean. I'm not really worried about Nico. I'm just saying that's where Nico not having the reps against pressure defenses in 3rd and longs late in the game. That's where you'd love to have seen early in the season before this game him have those opportunities in big down situations. And last thing, Arkansas ball. Hey, tell Boogie to hit me up against South Carolina or Tennessee or Texas State even, and then we'll see what's happening.
Why does everybody have special rules for me? Everybody sits over here in the chat on Tuesday nights. They talk all that smoke, and guess what? Their kind, generous host does.
Nah, I'm just
their kind, generous host says, "Come on in, pick whatever team you want. I'll pick off you. I'll pick an even team. You got all the advantage." And what do? They roll in, they pick a team, they get their butt whipped, and then they go right back over there to the chat and they start making excuses. I'm just kidding. I love playing Coach Rice. We've had some fun games. We've had some fun games. So me and Coach Jay. Go ahead, Dauber, jump in.
So I'm going to reply to you, Coach Rice. You said Nico's not faced the pressure. Granted, in the 3 games, it's not been there.
Yeah.
But the dude has faced the defensive line and
every day.
The defense that we have every single day, fall camp, spring camp. And I'm telling you, those dudes probably didn't give him any slack.
Yeah.
No slack. So
but the only thing is me to, devil's advocate there, that's a no pressure situation. Like that's in practice. yes, you're got one of the best defenses in the nation coming at you, but there's nothing like being on the road in a big SEC environment.
No, and I'm not taking that away from you, but like X said, though, Dylan Sampson gets rolling. The SEC leader in rushing right now.
Yeah.
That's going to set Nico up, open up those throwing lanes.
Exactly.
And I'm telling you, it's not like Venables is just you're also playing chess with Josh Heupel. And Josh Heupel has coached with Venables and will know some tendencies and they're going to be mixing it up. And I guarantee we've talked about it. The playbook has not been completely opened up. The offense has not been completely opened up. And there's going to be some things, some wrinkles, and we talked about it last week. It is literally a pick your poison with this offense.
Yeah.
It is okay. You're going to stuff the box and try to shut down Dylan Sampson and put it on Nico. Well, I mean, he's shown the placement and accuracy that he has shown up to this point has been pretty remarkable on the deep ball, on those intermediate passes. And then, you play back in zone and Sampson's going to pick you apart, picking up almost 8 yards a carry.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how do you defend that?
Dude, I was talking to Kaner. It might have been Monday when he came on the show. I can't remember. Dylan Sampson, when you look at the number of carries he has versus the number of touchdowns he has, it's almost like it's ridiculous. But that is my big question mark for this game. What does Venables do? Because look, we're going to stretch you out, right? We all know what this offense is, but is he going to sell out to stop the run? Because if he doesn't, then Dylan Sampson is going to eat him alive. 6 yards, 7 yards, 8 yards, house call. You're going to have to sell out to stop the run. So do they do that? Is that the game plan for them defensively, is to sell out, stack the box, stop the run, and then see if Nico can beat you on the road? And we're going to see what Nico's made of. And again, Coach Jay, he said it for weeks now. I said, when does Nico get up to full speed? When do we see what Nico's capable of? And he said the Oklahoma game. Book it. So we're going to find out. He says he likes to play on the road. He's going to have the opportunity. I think Venables is going to sell out to stop the run, and they're going to make Nico beat him, and we're going to see just how freaking good our quarterback is. That's what we're about to find out.
And the one thing you'll see, Oklahoma, I can go ahead and tell you, I told you I've already watched a crap ton of film on Oklahoma. From the looks, and they really haven't played a team that gives the same looks Tennessee's going to give as far as formation and space and everything. But Tulane and Temple did give a couple formational looks to where I think this is what we'll see 6 in the box, where you'll see 4 down linemen and 2 linebackers, and then a nickel that's kind of, depending on the spacing, that's kind of that 7th man that if we're, gashing them with the run, that's where you're going to see Nico just start lighting it up. Hashtag Alabama 2022, where you're having the slots and the outside guys, whoever you want to match up on their safeties and corners, who I think, other than Billy Bowman, I think is the weakness of their defense. I think if you can identify who you want one-on-one with one of their safeties or one of their weaker corners, that's where you'll see Nico and company take advantage. Because I think, like you say, Boogie, Venables go early in the game, especially, is going to be to take away Dylan Sampson and Deshaun Bishop in that run game, where they're going to see what Nico has to really offer. And I think they're going to get exposed.
Like X said, okay, cool. We got a 5-star quarterback. We got elite talent all over the field at wide receiver, at tight end. Like, good luck. You got to pick your poison. And if picking your poison is, well, let's see if the number 1 overall player in his class can beat us.
Yeah.
We're going to find out. And that's an intriguing matchup too, when you look at, Nico, right? You look at Nico versus Jackson Arnold, same class, both 5 stars, a lot of conversation. Who was the top dog? Was it Nico? Was it Arnold? Was it Arch Manning? This is a big-time showdown coming up on Saturday night. Let me catch up with you guys in the chat. Matthew Watson for 2 says 65-6. Vols. It's personal. It's just business. We stand on business. Knoxville Predator catcher for 5. Is the Heisman talk over for Nico this year? Seems like he would have to play insane all year to win now, only playing a handful of quarters. Nobody, look, let me tell you something.
No.
Heisman voters don't sit down and talk about what you did against Kent State.
Nope.
They don't sit down and talk about what you did against Chattanooga or even NC State. They sit down and they talk about what you did against SEC opponents, top 15 matchup, Oklahoma on the road, Georgia, Alabama. That's what they talk about. So, no, the Heisman talk, look, let me tell you something. If everything that we've been talking about for the last 10 minutes, if that transpires, if Venables says, all right, we're stacking the box, we're going to make Nico beat us, and Nico goes out and throws for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and adds 30, 40, 50 yards on the ground, guess what? Everybody going to be talking about Nico again.
Yep.
They're going to stop talking about the defense and start talking about Nico. And that's a beautiful thing. Like, give them something different to talk about every week. I don't care as long as we keep winning. Nikki Beeler for 5. We appreciate the super chat. Says, Dorothy, good evening, Vol family. Good evening, Nikki. Nikki, hope you're having a good night. Irish Smoky Vol for 5 says, Dorothy, what is up, my friend? Where's that from, Dauber? Where's that from?
That's a euro symbol. So
I don't know what that means.
Somewhere in Europe.
I'm just an East Tennessee redneck that has no idea, but we appreciate any and all super chats. So thank you, Irish Smoky Vol. Little Clout, been a member for 7 months. Thank you for the support. Knoxville Predator catcher for 5. Jackson Arnold is the leading rusher with 153 yards, I believe. That's not a good stat, and those aren't designed runs. A lot of that is Jackson Arnold running for his life. We'll get into that in just a little bit. Bob drops an $8 super chat. Bob, will it not let you update your name? Won't let him update to 3-0. Bob's got all kinds of problems. We appreciate the $8. Hey, Coach Rice, please tell us how you really feel about Danny White. Don't worry, I'm going to lecture. I'm gonna talk to Coach Rice here in just a minute, and we're gonna talk about this like civil adults. There may have been some yelling. There may have been some swear words in the back room. We're going to try to do it professionally live on air. If you want to know what went down, drop a $100 super chat. I'll tell you everything that Coach Rice said in the back room. David Hall for 2 says, tip jar. We love that, man. We appreciate that. Thank you for the support. Big Papa. I love when you call me Big Papa. Drops a $5 super chat. Mike Matthews will be the man in this game. 41-17. Think so?
That's another brother you got to worry about.
It's interesting. Everybody talking about 12 personnel. They went 5 wide. Isn't that what you said, Coach Rice? I think Coach Rice is the one that brought that to the table. No, I think they went 5 wide against Kent State with Mike Matthews being the 5th wide receiver.
Well, I mean, they emptied out Dylan Sampson a couple times to go 5 wide.
No, but I think they went true 5 wide at some point. Maybe I may be wrong. They
may have.
Sure, I heard that somewhere.
Once or twice, but which they may have. I'm not saying they did, but I know they brought out the 4 wide personnel with 4 true wide receivers and 1 running back a lot, especially early in the game.
I know they did that with Cam Seldon in week 1 too. But if they roll out true 5 wide, then you're seeing 12 personnel. Again, we're seeing what this playbook can be. Mark Wilson, been a member for 40 freaking months. I don't even know. I can't do math. That's a long time. Mark was around here when we didn't even do live streams. He just hung out and watched the videos. We appreciate you. He says GBO. All right, let's talk about Coach Heupel, right? Because the title of this live stream is Josh Heupel Returns to Oklahoma. He met with the media this week. I was interested to see what came out of his mouth. Was he going to downplay it? Was he going to sugarcoat it? Was he quiet about it? I think he handled this probably as perfect as you could. Let's take a listen.
Let's go ahead and get to it.
What are you going to talk about?
Let's talk about Nebraska. You go back into Norman. Have you thought about the emotions when you walk into that stadium?
Yeah, it'll be unique. I had teammates and friends back there. They hit me up a little bit early. They were starting last week already. It'll be unique going back into that stadium. It's going to be a viewpoint. I'm not sure I've ever spent a day on the opposing sideline inside of that stadium, not even for a scrimmage. So it'll be different, but it's one that I'm really looking forward to. There's so many people that have been a huge part of my journey that I get a chance to go back and hopefully get a chance to say hi to a bunch of them. It starts with teammates. It's coaches that I had. It's a lot of coaches that I coached with. There's a lot of personnel that's still there. Guys that I coached, guy that was in my wedding. There's a lot of people back there that I'm familiar with and have a lot of respect for.
I didn't hear him mention Bob Stoops. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Look, Josh Heupel wants to go put a beating on Oklahoma, and if you don't believe that, I don't know what to tell you. I made a video on Monday, kind of laying this out because I don't know if a lot of all fans even know. And I did some research on it just to kind of get a grasp. I knew the grand overall scheme of things. But yeah, he was fired at Oklahoma and he was the scapegoat. And then I sat and listened to Bob Stoops sit up there in front of the media and say, Josh Heupel's not the scapegoat. That's weird, man. Josh Heupel was your Heisman runner-up. He was your national championship quarterback for Oklahoma. He coached there under Bob Stoops for 9 years. He got fired after that team went 8-5 in 2014. Never averaged less than 32 points a game as the offensive coordinator. Never, not one time under 32 points a game. The year he was fired, his offense scored almost 35 points a game that year. The defense was pretty dang bad. They gave up 26 points a game. X, have you done your history? Do you know who the defensive coordinator was by any chance? I bet you don't. Do you know?
Venables.
No, it wasn't. That would be the brother of the head coach, Mike Stoops. Mike Stoops was the defensive coordinator. So the defense was the problem in 2014. But we're gonna get a scapegoat over here in Josh Heupel, and we're gonna save my brother Mike Stoops as the defensive coordinator. So just imagine, like T. Martin, right? National championship quarterback. He wasn't a Heisman runner-up, so it's even not to that scale. But imagine that he's coaching under Philip Fulmer. And Philip Fulmer is going to fire our offensive coordinator, T. Martin, to keep his brother, Tom Fulmer. I don't know if Tom Fulmer exists. I don't think he does. But let's just do you understand, X, what we're laying out here? Like Josh Heupel, put yourself in those shoes. Would you be bitter? Would you be mad? Would you be angry if your alma mater made you the scapegoat?
Oh yeah, man, like 100%. Like I mean, even like if I was here, my alma mater at Tennessee, even if they, like I said, Philip Fulmer, which of course, I wasn't born in that time yet to see the former years. But I mean, I'm just saying, if that was to happen to me, knowing that, let's say if I was in T. Martin's shoes and I won, helped you guys win a national championship, brought the glory days to Tennessee, and then have a scapegoat over here just to save somebody else's job. Like, nah, bro. Like that's some cold-hearted stuff for real.
Dauber, what do you think about Heupel's mindset maybe going into this game?
Heupel has shown, I would almost call it laser focus since he's been at Tennessee. I probably not even a handful of games. I'd say 2 or 3 that I don't think he had his team prepared for, or he got out schemed and out coached. But I think the man, there's a different look in his eye this year. And I don't know if it's because the feeling he has about his team or he understands the depth and talent, both sides of the ball that this team possesses. But it's something special. And I think there's a little bit of extra juice in the tank this week, especially in a road game returning to Norman. If it was in Knoxville, it still have some of those little special things and all. But to go back, essentially home, and the way there's no love lost. There's a bad taste in his mouth. He was done wrong. And, those doofuses that we showed the clip of the other day, there's, if he was a good coach, he'd be our coach. Well, no, I don't think so. Because the way he was done at Oklahoma,
it's a blessing in disguise for us. Yeah, I'm glad they screwed him over because that's how we found our coach. I do have to address this real quick. Odd Future, appreciate you being in the chat, brother. Odd Future says, since y'all claim the real UT, don't disappoint us Texas fans this weekend. Let me tell you something, Odd Future. We're not going to disappoint you guys. We're going to go out. We're going to take care of business. We're going to go take care of Oklahoma, but claim to be the real UT.
With Texas coming into the league now, which school has the real claim to being able to call itself UT?
There's only one real UT. One right shade of orange.
Only
I mean,
right shade of orange.
just in case you were curious, if it wasn't for the state of Tennessee, Texas would be North Mexico. Coach Rice, any thoughts on this Josh Heupel returning home? Because I think he's home now.
Yeah, I think if he could score 100 Saturday, he would. I mean, there's zero doubts in my mind he's going to hold anything back for this game. This dude is laser focused. He's got one thing on his mind, and that's whooping. You know what? So, and it's not just him. I think the guys on the team, yes, their goal is to go 1-0 each week, but their coach is their brother. Like he's family with them. And you don't think they don't know what they did to him? They got a chip on their shoulder too, and their goal's going to be hanging 100 on them too. And I just think Oklahoma, I mean, yes, they got some talented players. That, without a doubt, I'm not going to tell you that they don't have some NFL guys on their roster. But I'm going to tell you that ain't going to matter this weekend because we about to, throw some dirt on them and, kick them and, all types of stuff. They are not going to be ready for the smoke that's going to come Saturday because it's going to get nasty.
We're going to go into overtime because I know the next topic is going to go long and it's going to be heavy and it's going to piss some people off. But we're here to debate it and talk about it. We got 410 people watching live. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Smash the thumbs up. Share out the link. Let somebody know we're live. Tell somebody about Talkin VAWLS. Let's grow this thing, man. We're trying to get to 30,000 subscribers by the end of the year. You guys can help us with that. Share out the link. Let somebody know. Word of mouth goes a long way. You can also go check out the official merchandise of the Talkin VAWLS Network. You can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. That link is in the description below. This is a hot seller for all you kids that grew up in the late 90s and you walked around throwing up the too sweet, doing the crotch chops, getting ISS for offensive gestures. You want to wear this VWO shirt because if you're talking VAWLS, you're talking VAWLS for life. You can pick whatever style, color schemes you want. We also got some regular shirts, Cruton with Boogie and the Coaches, Lurker if you're hanging out in the chat, Knoxville, Tennessee themed shirt, The Chosen One, Cult of 8, Talkin VAWLS. We sell a letter shirt. Look how clean that looks. Like, what a nice design. Shout out to Kevin, my brother, for doing all this work. Like, we collaborated. We went back and forth, and we came up with this way to create this great VAWLS shirt. And then this guy shows up wearing somebody else's VAWLS shirt. Like, what are we doing? It would be amazing if we actually sold a letters-themed shirt. We got the Colt shirts, everything you want. You want to be offensive, we got FUGA. We got Buck Fama. You don't want to be offensive, we got Beat Georgia, Beat Bama, Beat Florida. It's all there. Bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. We appreciate all you guys that pick up merchandise. And if you do, tag me on Twitter at Boogie Bentley. I want to see you guys repping it. Blackout Jones is here. What's up, brother? Says, saw a guy at the NC State game with the VWO shirt. Why didn't you go talk to him? Blackout Jones, you got to go talk to the family. Like, y'all see each other. Go hang out. I think someone deleted my comment. We don't delete comments around here, Odd Future. Nobody deleted your comment. Now, you drop profanity, it probably got blocked. Captain Woodland for 2 says this team is ready to fight for their coach, GBO. I love it, man.
Yep.
They know what this game means, and I think that is going to play into it. Nicholas, he's got his record updated, 3-0. For 5, I believe we win comfortably, but let's say for fantasy's sake that Oklahoma wins. Is it a red flag that Heupel can't win on the road? Sit on that. We're gonna talk about that in just a minute. God, we're gonna go an hour and a half tonight. I know it's gonna come. It's gonna happen. Andrew N drops a 20 spot. That's Orange Boy. When you drop an orange boy, we play the clip.
Rocky Top!
Andrew for 20 says, tip as a thank you to all of you for all you do. And let's welcome Oklahoma to the SEC this Saturday. GBO. Well, thank you, Andrew. We appreciate the support.
Hey, Retro, just letting you know, when Tennessee does beat y'all, I'll invite you to the opening scene of my comedy skit because It's going to happen. I'm just letting you know.
I thought Coach Rice was going to drop the Darrell Taylor hashtag earlier, but I think it's getting ready to come out now.
It's just going to come out of his mouth. It's going to come out of his mouth.
He's trying to hold back excitement right now.
check out Nelson. He's like, any App State gear? Well, I mean, I could put on some App State gear, or I could just show y'all this. Check out what I got in the mail today. Come to see a Big Dave Sanders. Big Dave Sanders. I love that logo.
Love it.
That logo looks clean. Shout out Dave Sanders. I almost texted his dad. I may text him after the show, but I did tweet and tag Big Dave in it. Go check out his merchandise. Dave's the man. I love that kid. What a good kid, man. If you missed that interview, you need to go back and watch it. All right. Let's see. Let me oh God. Here we go.
At least Retro's admitting that it's gonna happen.
Yeah, Retro.
Said he'll be at my comedy skits.
Coach Rice is laughing now. He's about to stop. Let's talk about the big ticket debate of 2024. Brent Hubbs tweets out Tennessee adding a talent fee to 2025 season tickets to aid in expected arrival of revenue sharing. Now, everybody was asking me about this last night. Coach Rice was furious. You know what? Right, we'll just get into it. So they're adding that 10% fee to season ticket holders, and they are doing it for a reason. Coach Rice was passionate about this. Coach Rice was angry about this. So even though I made a video this morning, it's kind of fun. I think we may be on two different sides of the fence. That's what this channel is all about. So we're going to talk about it, and you guys can chime in the chat. I agree with, I just want you guys to have a voice. Bubble says, I do not agree at all. So let's talk about it. Coach Rice, just give us your walk us through your feelings when you saw this, your opening thoughts, where you're at now. Yeah. Talk about why you were so angry.
All right. So is it just season ticket holders?
I think so.
It's season tickets.
Oh, okay. Well, that changes everything for me.
Appreciate you guys watching. It's been a great show. We will catch you guys.
But no, legit though, if it was, which I mean, people, season ticket holders sell their tickets, so I mean, it will at some point hit people that are buying single game tickets. But if it was for single game ticket sales, my point was there's other ways you could do this. But
what are they?
I mean, other big sponsorship. I mean, there's other ways than, taking out the single game fans that can only afford going to a single game every year, and it affected single game tickets, which all that's, thrown to a side now. But my biggest point was there's millionaires and billionaires that can due to Tennessee football and Tennessee athletics that, it doesn't affect them. You just signed a massive deal with Pilot. You got a massive deal with Food City Center. You got the Haslams that, I know that's part of Pilot. But there's other massive donors that, and there's NIL Spire. I know that don't go correlate with this because this is revenue sharing versus not your actual collective, but and then you don't even get to, everything else that goes into how Tennessee makes money, the $20 beers that I'm being sarcastic, so don't take me, which it ain't that far off. But, all the concessions that are crazy expensive at the games, that ways Tennessee makes money. And then not only that, the tickets are already crazy expensive. So, and that's just doing that. That's not even going through the ticket gouging that people do on Ticketmaster. It's just,
that has nothing to do with it, though.
I know that part.
Third-party sales has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, and let me hit this super chat too, just because we're talking about it. Cody Copeland for 10 says the ticket prices and the talent fee isn't a problem. The problem is secondhand sales that make tickets go through the roof, sometimes in the thousands over normal prices. That's two completely separate.
That's two completely different. But I'm just saying the tickets itself, which all this is void Now, my argument, because it's season ticket sales where people have money that can afford to go to, do all that crap.
Yeah, you just
So
thought it was just like regular
I
just
thought it was
tickets.
single ticket sales. I thought it was
Right.
regular ticket sales. So all of my argument is void. But I could see why. I understood it. So my argument was that I'm sick and tired of getting nickel and dimed when majority of the fan base is doing everything they can to just go to a single game per year.
But here's my thought process on it, and this is why I hate having this conversation, because everybody's gonna be like, oh, well, you're rich, you get to. No, I'm not. I am far from rich. Like, and Coach Rice, you were talking about it in the back room. It's like you save all year to try to go to one game.
Yeah,
I'm trying to do that to go to an App State game, and guess what? The ticket prices to go watch App State play Georgia State on a Tennessee bye week are higher, more money than I paid to go watch Tennessee play Florida or watch Tennessee play Alabama 10 years ago. But that's the world we live in. All of the prices are going up. But here's my thing, and I said this in the backstage area. You can say all the rich people or the season ticket holders, they've got the money, or the Haslams or Pilot or Food City. Like, we can always point at other people. But what about the guy that's sitting here going, where'd Coach Rice get that hat? I can't afford that hat. I want that hat. I deserve that hat. I work hard. I go mow lawns every day, or I go, greet at Walmart, or I go work in a call center, or I go work for corporate America. I do whatever. Why can Coach Rice afford that hat and I can't? Like, to me, 10%, right? That's the thing. Everybody was freaking out over 10%. Okay, if a ticket's $200, that's $20. That's $20 a ticket. So if you're so, like, I saw so many people say, I can't take my kids. I can't take my kids. This is a nightmare. I can't take my kids. Okay, so hold on. You're paying $200 for a ticket. I'm just throwing numbers out here. I have no idea what ticket prices are. So let's say you're paying $200. Let's say you're buying 4 tickets. So that's what, $80 extra? If $80 is going to break the bank, I don't know that you should have been spending $800 to begin with on tickets.
Right.
That's just me being honest, man. And this is a dude that has a family of 5 that, look, I got to grasp pennies to go watch App State play Georgia State. You think that's like Tennessee, Alabama? I'm watching mediocre football and paying $100 for it.
Right. Well, and Boogie, here's my take on it too. And you actually said this, last season on one of the previous shows that we did, was that, what happens when Tennessee starts winning again and winning SEC championships, winning multiple national championships? Guys, you got to sit and realize that, look, we're winning now. We're not losing like we were 5-10 years ago. So, the ticket prices are going to go up. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I remember the days where we were struggling against, South Carolina, the Vanderbilts, and all the other smaller schools. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, some ticket prices were a little on the expensive side, depending on who we were playing, whether it be SEC play, whatever. But now that we're actually winning and going in the right direction, I mean, guys, it is what it is. Like, everything is just going to go up. So the way that I see this is, it's just a good thing, man. It shows that we're on the right track. It shows that we're not going backwards no more. We're on the right track of where we're going and supposed to be.
Well, I got one more thing that I want to add to it, and this is more just the ticket prices in general.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about winning and ticket prices going up. Well, my counter to that, why is Georgia, which I hate to give Georgia credit, why are they still in the bottom 4 or bottom 5 in ticket prices, and they've won back-to-back national championships?
How many people, I would counter, and I have no idea, how many people do they have on the waiting list for season tickets? Because Tennessee's got a waiting list a mile long.
I'm just talking about normal ticket sales, not season ticket sales. I'm talking about normal ticket sales.
Right. And I mean, and the same argument can be for Alabama. I mean, and look, we've already seen the history of there with Nick Saban and everything, how many ticket holders were waiting to go to Alabama game when they were a dynasty, So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's, to me, and also too, 10% that is going, to our players and stuff. That's also a good thing too, because even Boogie, you even said in your video talking about, like somebody said, well, what happened to the 100 million, from Spire Sports Group, bruh? We spent the money, dog. Like,
let me rattle off the numbers that X is talking about here. Like, everybody wants to say, well, where's the money gone? Well, we got a quarterback that we're paying allegedly $8 million to, right? How much did we pay for this guy right here? How much did we pay Big Dave Sanders? I have no idea, but I guarantee he's making a pretty penny. Like, if you're going to recruit at an elite level, you got to be able to pay the guys, but then also revenue sharing. That, like I mentioned in my video this morning, that's something that's coming next season. And let me read it off to you again. College athletes in sports that generate more revenue than the amount of money spent on scholarships for that sport would be required to give 50% of the money left after subtracting the money spent on scholarships. That's going to cost this university about $30 million. That's chump change when you go look at the fact that we are in the middle of a $337 million renovation to Neyland Stadium. We're also in the middle of a $95 million renovation to Lindsey Nelson Stadium. And I get it, Coach Rice. I understand. We can look at Food City. We can look at Pilot. Food City is paying Tennessee $20 million over 10 years. They're not even paying Nico's contract to name Thompson Bowling. So there is a lot of money being spent. It is a business. And I get it. It's like I said in the video this morning, I hate it because the stories of if you can't afford to take your family and your kids aren't going to get to go and you're not going to get to have the memories. Me and Dauber have talked a million times about that 2016 Florida game. I will forever remember that we cheapskated JP. We made him drive. We made him pay for the parking pass. Me and Dauber gave me my ticket. I screwed everybody. But me and Dauber were hugging each other and celebrating. And we'll never forget that. Like, the memories, that's what it's all about. But again, I say that to say this. If a ticket's $200, is another $20 really the deal breaker that you can't take your entire family? And if it is, maybe you shouldn't be going in the first place instead of yelling at Danny. Dauber, you're on deck.
Quiet.
Rip it off, brother.
Too long. All right, listen. And this may be breaking news to you all. College sports, college athletics is big business. Long gone are the days of, having a former player or coach as an athletic director, a la Philip Fulmer. That stuff doesn't work anymore. You have to have a business-minded person running the athletic department. Danny White is just that. Danny White is the best athletic director in the country.
White. Let me say this and then continue. Schools all across the country are going to be copying this model, but he's always in front of it. He's always
Danny
in front
White
of it
is
because he's
innovative.
Go ahead.
Ahead of the game, just like he did with working with Spire and getting ahead of NIL, which allowed us to be where we are right now. To, like I talked about earlier, setting fast forward. Josh Heupel's transition and flipping this program upside down has taken part because how we approached NIL, how we were able to get out ahead of the game. Listen, Danny White is damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. He makes a deal with Pilot, makes a deal with Food City, and you got everybody complaining. Oh, good Lord, we're changing the name. We're doing this. But we're getting money for the program. We're getting money to, okay, here, let's flip it this way. Do you guys want to stop winning? Do you want to not be successful? Because it takes money to be successful. It takes money to run a top-tier program across the board. And face it, we have not seen success across the board in the athletic department at the University of Tennessee the way we are right now. This 2024 is the second year in a row we've sold out tickets. I know somebody put it in the chat. 15,000 people on a waiting list for season tickets. So listen, I get it. And money is the root of all evil. Money is, everybody needs money. Everybody wants more money. But like Boogie said, if this is out of reach because of this extension, then, buy a new T-shirt, sit at home, watch the game on HD TV. It's high stream, high def. It may be better to sit at home and watch it on TV. You get the replay. You can sit in your underwear.
The older I get, I think it is better to just watch it at home.
I mean, come on. But there is something to be said for going to the game. And I love going to games. Don't get me wrong. The atmosphere is amazing. Being in the stadium, like Boogie talked about when we were there, when we, broke the streak against Florida. I've had so many special memories in Neyland. But I get it. This is it's business. just
all
like
sports is business.
Just like Hank T said,
the world
it's all business.
Right now.
And
it's just business. That's what
it is just business. And I think we all want a top tier program. We all want success as fans. We have to allow Danny White to make these decisions to keep us at a level that sustains that success.
One of the biggest comments that I got multiple times that I loved was, I would rather win and sit at home on the couch. Now, somebody in the comments here in the live chat just said, well, where's my natty then? Well, natties aren't guaranteed. But if you want to compete at a high level, you got to go recruit elite talent, and that's all part of this. I think that was a fair conversation. Everybody voiced their opinion.
I got one more thing I want to add.
Excuse me, let me fact check you real quick.
When's the shit gonna stop? Like when is it gonna?
You said you weren't gonna cuss.
Well, I got too pissed off. When is it going to stop? Because now it's yes, 10%. 2 years from now, 15%, 20%. It's just going to keep getting. It's just if we allow it and we accept it. I'll be
blunt. I'll be blunt and answer that for you. There's 15,000 other people waiting in line to pay that happily.
Well, then add a third deck, and then I'll be perfectly fine with it because quit. People got to stop.
Well, to do that, Danny White's got to raise more money.
Well, I'm
because that's going to be another $500 million renovation.
Well, I'm just saying, either like there's got to be which they're saying 4.5%. I saw someone put in the chat 4.5% on regular tickets, and then it's going to like 10%, 10 to 15% on season tickets. But my thing is, and all y'all people saying I just like to hear myself talk, you can go on somewhere with that. But
don't kick people out of the chat. All opinions are welcome. We're having a conversation.
But my thing is, at some point, you got to draw the line. Like there's other ways that have to be that where you're not screwing the fans over. Yes, I understand enhancing the fan experience and doing all that. And kudos to you. Kudos to Danny White for doing that. And that's one reason why I love going to Tennessee games. But at some point, you got to find – and I know with today's inflation and money and everything, and I know we don't want to get into politics, but that's just where we are. And some people, it's to the point. And I'll just suck it up and watch it on TV. But, I mean, it's just at some point the raising the ticket prices, because it's just going to keep getting worse as the years go on. Because if we just keep getting better and better and better, which I'm all for, I'll sit my tail at home if we're winning natties. But it's just at some point the ticket price has to stop going up.
But and we got to tie a bow on this conversation, but it just keeps, it's like an endless circle. But for me, it's like, and I'm afraid this is going to come off as disrespectful, and I don't want it to come off as disrespectful. Why do you feel that you're entitled to get to go to a Tennessee game, right? Not everybody gets to go. Like, I would love to load up the family right now and drive to Orlando and go to Disney World and have a big time. But guess what? Tickets are expensive. Why do I drive through town and I see people driving Porsches and Mercedes and BMWs, and we're driving a Honda and a Jeep? And yeah, I love my Jeep. It's a great vehicle. but man, I sure would like to have a Porsche, but I can't afford it. Does everybody deserve a Porsche? Does everybody deserve tickets to Disney? Does everybody deserve to get to go to Neyland Stadium? And I see both sides of the argument because of the memories. And I hate, like, again, if it's knocking you out of going with your kids, I hate that. But is 10% really knocking you out of going with your kids, or are you choosing to make an argument out of this for the sake of making an argument out of it? That is how I would end this conversation. Brian Thomas says Disney sucks. I agree.
Disney's overrated.
I'm just saying. No, I like Disney World. I like going to Orlando. What are you talking about? Disney sucks. How dare you? I'm talking about. I'm not going to say it. Y'all about drug me into politics. Captain Woodland for 2 says Oklahoma isn't an SEC team until they get an SEC win. GBO, Cody Copeland. As long as Neyland stays full and loud, I'm happy. Speaking if they need to paint the transcard, what in the hell is he talking about? Premier seating to orange. It's half empty or more most of the time, and it's the home sideline looks bad.
So most of those people are down below and in the suites that accompany those seats, especially in a blowout game. There's food and beverages and all that down there. So
happened for 10. Don't think this means Pilot and other groups ain't getting upcharged too. Danny White gonna have us the richest athletic department in the country. Y'all watch. Always had to spend money. Let's take over. That's why Danny White was hired. Like he is a genius for raising money. And somebody got mad at me for saying that in my video today. Shane Mountain says, here's $5. Appreciate the super chat. Shane, John Mills for 2 cost me $800 for 2 to Florida, sitting in the nosebleeds. Yeah, but what's face value? You're getting screwed by the
third party.
That has nothing to do with Tennessee. Shane for 5. I have season tickets. They are getting crazy. They don't want the average person to have them. And again, is it because they don't want you to have them, or because it's supply and demand?
Yeah.
Like, what if I told you right now, Coach Rice? Let's make this where it makes sense. What if I told you right now, man, we got 500 people. 500 people. We may have almost 30,000 subscribers, but we got 500 people that said they're going to pay us $10,000 each, and they want us to divide it between all the hosts, and they're going to tune in to watch us, but they don't want anybody else to have access. They're just going to give us that money. Would you say, I don't want it, Boogie? I want to do it for the common man, or would you say, give me my cut right now?
I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, the world's getting to where the world is. It's all about the money. So, I mean, it's going to get to where it is without not like anything from everyone else. So, I mean, if the people that got the money could go do it, let them have it. But
I think the ultimate the decision to make is screw that. I don't like what you're doing, so I'm going to stay home and watch it on TV. I think that's it. It sucks when you want to make memories with your kids or with your family or with your friends. But that's just the reality of the situation.
So one quick point here. We've been chasing those upper level, those top tier programs. For so long, and now that we're finally, damn near right there with them. As an athletic department, as a football program, we have taken strides and come from some pretty dark and rough times.
Right.
Do we want to just let that slide back and be indifferent because we're trying to stay ahead of the game? We're trying to remain innovative. And listen, it's a talent increase, and I don't know if everybody knows quite exactly what this is set up to. If I guess NCAA and state laws are pushed forward and go the right way, this money that is being set aside and earmarked will go to the athletes, and will go to bring in the athletes who, maintain that level of play that keeps the program at that, elite sphere. It's one of those things. Ask yourself, do I want us to be successful? And am I willing to, cut some coffee or run into Starbucks or, I'm going to forego something.
The key word is sacrifice.
Right. And listen,
and we're talking $20 on a $200 ticket.
I think we all do that in our lives every day. I do that for my kids. I do that for things that I want. I want Tennessee to be successful. So therefore I see what is happening here. And Danny White, like I said, he's being innovative. This is something that no other program is doing right now. And it is going to be copied because it is the way. It is what the future is going to entail.
Okay.
Nobody can let it go. Everybody has to get their final point in.
Say which I don't want this to happen, and if it means people have to sit at home, watch the game, it is what it is, and all of that. But say Tennessee starts losing again. I don't even want. Knock on wood. I don't want that to happen.
Then, like I said, then ticket sales are going to start decreasing.
Well, this is the same thing right here. I have a love-hate relationship with what Robbie just put in the chat right here. Want to fight back? Don't go.
So
if you feel they don't want you, the average person, to be there, don't give them your money. So don't go. And I hate that because we're all trying to support the University of Tennessee. We all want the University of Tennessee to win. If the seats are empty, guess what?
Ticket sales are going to go down.
And then guess what happens after that, X?
Then you're going to lose your commits. And
then ticket prices come down because nobody's in the freaking stadium.
Right, exactly.
It's a little bit. So
we have got to end this conversation.
Little bit like NASCAR. Years ago, you could not get a ticket to Bristol Motor Speedway. You're paying an arm and a leg.
Now it's empty every race.
Now you cannot give them away because the level of competition and all of that's changed. So if the level of competition, the level of play is where you want it as a Tennessee football fan, as a Tennessee athletic department fan, then this is just how it is. If you're upset about the money, then show up with not going. Don't support. And I mean,
you can support at home.
That's where I draw the line. It's not supporting just because you can't afford to go. Like that's stupid. Like I can support, but I'm done talking about it because I'm pissed off. So
I mean, if you can't, but again, Gordon, it's just going around and round and round. If you can't afford to go, don't go. I can't afford to take my family to Hawaii, so I'm not in Hawaii. But I'm not going to yell and scream and say, "Why don't I get to go to Hawaii like the freaking like Kanye West? He can go wherever he wants. Why don't I get to go?" You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Like Coach Rice, text
Oklahoma.
me next time. Coach Rice, do me a favor. Don't tag Danny White. That's how we're going to tie a bow on this. Don't go on Twitter.
Text a buddy.
Don't start attacking our AD that has done so many great things for this university. Just text me.
Text a buddy.
Yeah, just text a buddy.
I'll text a buddy.
That's how we. I don't know if I'm your buddy after this conversation. He's like, I'm done. He's like, I'm going to that other channel that 3 people watch. I'm going over there.
Oklahoma's about to get their butt whooped.
Hey, I'm about to go to the Schumer's podcast or whatever it's called.
We got a segue, and I'm going to read all these super chats that are people that are going to chime in on the conversation we just had for the last 30 minutes.
Kick it back off.
White Lightning drops a 20 spot. That's an Orange Boy. Let's play the clip.
Rocky Top!
Bob says football is the #1 sport draw and allows us to field all the other sports like the basketballs and the baseballs, lady balls, and all the rest. Football program pays for all of them. And that's what revenue sharing is. All that money is going to all the other sports. It's going to all the other athletes. Dauber, shut up. Let me read
You tried to get a baseball ticket the last couple of years?
And guess what? Baseball is not making any money.
No.
None. They're usually in the negative. A national championship program is usually in the negative.
Same with basketball, too, when we had Dalton Connect.
Matt Maher is member for 23 months. We appreciate you. Here's the thing people are failing to talk about. He could have just raised prices and not said why. Got to appreciate the transparency. I love the transparency, and a lot of people have made that same comment. Evan Counts for 10, it's definitely not about keeping the average fan out. Do you want local total domination or attend a close nail-biting game every year with Kentucky and Vandy?
That's what I was saying
Price
earlier.
of success is steep, and I love that quote from Danny White. Cody Copeland for 10. I get they are down below, but the gray seating stands out bad. Rocky Top Tom, member for 21 months. UT football brought in $139 million in 22-23 fiscal on tickets, merch, and boosters. No reason at all there should be higher ticket prices. $900 for terrible Bama tickets this year. It's BS. $139 million. That's interesting. The upgrades on Neyland Stadium alone were $337 million, Tom. So where are we getting the other $200 million?
And the 900 is not face value. That's again, that's
right.
third party.
Resale. That's resale. But I'm going to wait on the other $200 million. Like, that's the thing. I hate when people throw numbers and they're not realistic. They're not accurate. We need upgrades. We need facilities. We need coaches. We got to pay players. And I said this going into the NIL era. I said, we can't keep leaning on the boosters because eventually they're going to get tapped out. I know they're rich, but guess what? The more you make, the more you spend. You can be a billionaire, and guess what? You may be struggling to pay your bills every day. That's just the reality of the world that we live in. Evan counts for 2, says Daddy White. Daddy White way or the highway. Cody Copeland for 10. As long as Neyland stays above 120 decibels when it stays full and stays the best home field advantage in the nation, I'll find a way to make my way 1 or 2 games a year and watch other wins from home. Knoxville Predator catch for 10. If you can afford the tickets now, 10% isn't making a difference, to be honest. That's kind of how I've felt. Prices have been ridiculous for years. The average fan should be able to see us play Bama and Georgia without settling for Chattanooga. Captain Woodland for 5. I know why the ticket prices have to go up, but I also understand where Coach Rice is coming from. My dad said he could never afford tickets in the 90s. That's why my video was so hard, because it's way easier when you have a strong opinion. You can just hammer people and be like, this is the way. Dude, it was hard because I'm like, I get it. Because I've had the memories with Dauber. I've had the memories with my buddy that I went to my first game with that I've talked about all the time and told the stories, and that he's not here anymore. And that memory will live a lifetime. And if a boost in ticket prices knock me out of that, if a boost in ticket prices knock me out of going with Dauber, if a boost in ticket prices knock me out of being able to go to that homecoming game with my daughter last year and enjoy that and the memories that will last a lifetime, I get it. But is that the truth? Like, you have to be honest with yourself. Is that 10% increase really knocking you out of those memories, or are you just looking for something to gripe about? That's how we will tie a bow, and nobody else is speaking. We're done with the cost of ticket prices. Let's move on. Let's make our predictions for the Oklahoma game. Huge game coming up on Saturday. Let me be honest, that was a fun conversation. I told you guys before we went live, voice your opinions, stay true to your opinions, don't back down, and let's talk about it. And that's what we did. We can agree to disagree, and we'll still be brothers. We'll still talk Tennessee football. We'll still love this Tennessee football program. Yep. Tennessee, Oklahoma. Is this must win? Always college football. Greg McElroy, I know he's a Bammer and everybody hates him. I like the guy, but maybe it's because he's showing respect for Tennessee. Let's hear what he said about this game coming up on Saturday.
Looking at this matchup, though, that Tennessee has this weekend, they go against Oklahoma this week. It feels like a gotta have it for Tennessee, more so than Oklahoma. I don't know why that is, and I'm curious to get your take, because if Josh Heupel goes in there and Brent Venables slows the offense down and ultimately gets a surprise victory as a dog at home, then all the goodwill that Tennessee's built up this season so far feels like it's lost. In victory, give them the trophy, it's over. But in defeat, what's the reaction for Tennessee?
I may be on the other side of this. I think there's a little more pressure on Oklahoma here, only because I think this 2-game stretch may define their season. I don't think it'd be the craziest concept of the world for a Josh Heupel Tennessee team that's been a little different away from home if they go into Norman and they lose 30-27. If they win 34-17 and Oklahoma gets humbled by Josh Heupel, who would have like blood dripping down his mouth, by the way, that's how much they've looked forward to getting back. That would be a reality check. That would kind of be a grabbing the program by the shoulders and shaking reality into it. And then who knows what they are.
What are your thoughts on that, Dauber? I because to me, college football playoff or bust, I think this game means everything to Tennessee. I don't think you lose this game and then you grab them by the shoulders and shake them and say, oh, we'll bounce back. We'll bounce back. I think you got to win this game if you want a shot at the playoffs.
I agree with you. This is we said the season starts in week 4. And that was when we first the schedule rolled out and we were looking at it, going through it. We said we've got the NC State game was going to be interesting to see. But the season started week 4 in Norman, and as we've approached this, it's shaped up a little different. Oklahoma isn't quite as tough looking as anticipated. So I do think my take is anytime you go on the road in SEC play, and I know it's Oklahoma's first SEC game, but Oklahoma has been a blue blood. They've been a top tier program, and Tennessee is just getting back to that. We are just getting back to now. I think Josh Heupel and everything else, all the emotions and circumstance that surrounds the game, it adds another level to it. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be one of those ball games where momentum goes a long way. And I think what we've seen from Tennessee is a propensity to start fast and then dictate the game and force the other team to almost abandon their game plan because they're playing from behind and they're chasing. Josh Heupel wants to stress the defense. And Venables is going to mix up his defense to try to get on the young quarterback who is, he's been on the road, but in not at somebody else's home field. So it's one of those things. Who strikes first? Who strikes, quickly? Can we clean up a few of the things that we've had issues going through the season to this point? Some of the penalties, we're not in the situation like we have been where, one or two miscues will derail a drive and just completely kill the momentum. So I think the way this shapes up, going into Norman on the road, I think Tennessee, they can dictate how this game goes. But they have to get in and they have to make things happen early. If Oklahoma's hanging around and the crowd gets into it, that could be recipe for disaster for this team on the road with a young quarterback, and all the emotions that surround the game.
Just roll in and go ahead and give your prediction.
So that said, I think that Tennessee is going to they are going to roll into Norman. They are going to dictate the pace of the game. They are going to dictate how things go via Nico and via Dylan Sampson. I think between those two, you're going to see the adjustments made from Josh Heupel offensively, based on what Venables is trying to do defensively. And, they load the box, they try to shut down the run, and Nico is going to carve them up. Oklahoma's back end, that is one of their weaknesses. They don't have the speed, I think, to hang with our wide receiver core. And, if you dedicate the extra defender to stopping the run, Nico is just going to carve them up. I think defensively, on the flip side, Tennessee, their defensive line is just going to feast on a, Swiss cheese, patchwork, next man up offensive line for Oklahoma. And, you haven't heard James Pierce's name much all this year. Well, get ready to hear it this weekend. Oh, they want to double, triple team him. Well, his buddy Omar Norman Lott, all the rest of those big boys, they'll just step right up and they'll do what they've been doing. They're going to get to Arnold. They're going to rattle him. And like I said, I think Tennessee dictates this game. They dictate the pace of play, and they force Oklahoma to abandon their game plan. Tennessee is going to win 48-21.
I like it. Let me hit a couple of super chats real quick. Bob Pretend says Jordan Thomas out, John Slaughter out, Shamrod Umrov out, Lance Hurd questionable. Hurd's going to be back. He would have played last week if it was the Oklahoma game. William Wright probable, Ben Bolton probable, William Satterwhite probable. Thank you, Bob, for the update. Everybody's saying that just came out officially. Evan counts for 5. Isn't Oklahoma bringing back players that have been out for a while? Should that be a concern? There's a wide receiver that is likely to be back. Hold on, let me hit this, and then we'll go, Coach Rice. David Franklin for 10. Late entry fee. Will we win this game by 20 plus? Why should we doubt what our eyes have seen from this team? They're just different this year in the best of ways. Well, we are driving our predictions right now, David. We appreciate the super chat.
I've got one other thing.
The chat's going to roast you. They're going to roast you right now because pan-seared ribeye.
I was going to say.
And one more thing. Hold on. Can we go back and talk about ticket prices? What do y'all think about
Kitzelman in the middle of the field and the seam is going to eat them alive?
Who'd you say?
Kitzelman.
All right, go ahead, Coach Rice.
All right, so I got Oklahoma's injury report too. Two of their wide receivers are coming back. Nick Anderson and Andrell Anthony.
Is it saying that Anderson is definitely back?
Yeah, probable. Him and Andrell Anthony and Kendall Doby, which is cheetah linebacker for them, and Troy Everett, who's going to line up at left guard for them. He'll be their starting left guard. So they're getting one of their starting offensive linemen back. Their stud defensive end / linebacker Deshaun McCullough is officially out. And a couple of the other offensive linemen are officially out as well. So
what about their center? I can't remember his name.
He's out.
Branson Hickman. He's out.
Well, he's questionable. Excuse me, questionable.
High ankle sprain.
Yeah,
I bet he's out. I bet he's out.
He's out.
He's questionable.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's all right. I meant to say his name too. And then their right tackle Jake Taylor is questionable as well. But I was listening to an Oklahoma show today. They think Hickman will play, and they think the Jake Taylor, their starting right tackle, will be out. So they got some flux there in their offensive line that they're gonna have to deal with. Something they've been dealing with all year. It's part of the reason why they've struggled so much. But even before all these injuries, they thought this was going to be a weak point for their team, that offensive line. And when you're going up against a defensive line of the likes of Tennessee and all the depth, that's the key piece right there, the depth, where they're barely putting together an offensive line. When we're rolling 13 guys that's fully healthy, fully energized, that hasn't even played a full game yet, because they've, you talked about it earlier. Omari Thomas has only played 10 snaps against Kent State, and that's all over the defensive line, where you have multiple guys only playing 10 to 15 to less than 20 snaps. So they're fully, their legs are ready to go. And I just think me and Coach Jay have both kind of been saying this even before, when we did the preseason predictions, that we saw matchup nightmares going into this game all over the field. One place where you think they may be able to take advantage of is our safeties. Well, they're not going to have time. Normally when you take advantage of safeties, they're long developing routes. Well, I just don't see them being able to do that and take advantage of that one spot where they think they may have an advantage. And do they have a quarterback that's hasn't gone up against a defense like the likes of Tennessee's defense, and being able to see the coverage and be able to diagnose it and deliver it? He can make to see it, but he's got to be able to deliver it. One thing that Tennessee's got to do is stop Jackson Arnold. I think Arian Carter and Keenan Peely are going to be, and our star is going to be massive in this game. Our defensive ends are going to have to maintain their assignment. They can't, get crazy with their assignment. They're going to have to stay in their rushing lanes. So, but without getting into my keys, I think this game's going to be nasty. I think it's going to start out close early, but I think by the third and fourth quarter, Oklahoma's really struggled in the mid-8, and then getting on into the third quarter, they've struggled this year in that time slot. I think Tennessee takes advantage of that time and finishes up 51 to 19. 51 to 19. I think it'll be 31 to 14 maybe, or 31 to 13 at halftime. And I think they take care of business, put things away, and I don't think it'll even be close. 51 to 19.
Tyler Maxwell for 5 says 38-10 Big Orange, longest week of my life. I want to see a post-game takeover of Norman. I'm so fired up. The season starts now. Tyler, buckle up. X, what do you got?
All right. So now that these two are finally done talking, I can talk.
Thank you, Jesus.
And I'll keep it short and sweet. I love you guys, but I'm patiently waiting. But anyway, so anyway, all right. So how I look at this Oklahoma game, I've been saying it all season to my friends and everybody else. This game reminds me of Pitt back in 22, because we all said, and I understand that Pitt was our second game during that year. I get that, but we all said that if you go on the road and you beat Pitt there at their home stadium, the sky's the limit. Now, of course, we didn't know that we were going to win 11 games that year. But now that we know what we have with this team, yeah, if you go and you beat Oklahoma, yeah, definitely playoffs for sure. Definitely playoffs. So, like what Dauber was saying too, I think we got to come in, strike hard, strike first, and don't let them hang around, and let the crowd get into it, let them back into this ball game. No, we got to just handle business, and then of course our defense. I'm not even really worried about the defense. There's not really much to say about it. They're going to eat. James Pierce is going to be unleashed again. And, this defense is just going to carve up their horrible offensive line. So, with all that being said, because like I said, I'm going to keep it short and sweet, I'm going to say Tennessee 54, Oklahoma 24.
Y'all all predicting blowouts. I want y'all to put your predictions in the live chat. If you're watching this on the rewatch, put it in the comments section. What are your predictions for Tennessee, Oklahoma coming up on Saturday night? We're going to be doing a tailgate show an hour before kickoff. We'll be live immediately following the game. Don't forget the change of schedule, Friday morning, 9 a.m. Dang, I got Coach Jay making me get up early. I got to be up early to go live at 9 a.m.
And then, of course, I just got to say this, too.
X will cut me off. I'm trying to plug and promote and build a channel and grow an audience. And X has got just one more thing. What do you want to talk about? The price of tickets, X? Is that what you want to talk about?
Well, no. Well,
I'm going to tell you what I told Robert. This better be groundbreaking.
No, I said, well, first things first, just remember, guys, it's just Oklahoma. Then number 2, let's go on up there, get a dub, and raise the ticket prices even more. Third thing, go Big Orange.
That's why we reset me. Evan counts for 2, says, I just want a piece of Dorkwitz. Me too in the playoffs, man. And there are some people predicting that. Nelson, I got something else. Does anybody else on the panel have something else to say before I try to do a little promotion around here? I've never on a Friday morning show with Coach Jay had to deal with so much adversity as I deal with on this Wednesday night show. Friday morning, 9 a.m., an hour earlier than normal. Come hang out. We'll get you ready for kickoff. An hour before kickoff, we'll do the tailgate show. We'll be live immediately following the show. I don't even know if I should give a prediction at this point. I think everybody's like, I'm sick of this show. I'm going to bed. Look, keep it simple, stupid. Win the line of scrimmage. We got a huge advantage with our defensive line against their offensive line. It was an all-new offensive line to begin with. They brought in 5 new dudes on that offensive line, and they're all banged up, and we have the best defensive line in the country. Tim Banks told me that, and I believe it. So we got the best defensive line. Go win the line of scrimmage. Offensively, run decent. Make them stack the box. If they don't, just eat them alive. 6 yards, 5 yards, 4 yards, 7 yards, 8 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards, 7 yards.
House
could write a
call.
song. I could write a song. I could write a song about it. Run the damn football. Keep it simple, stupid. Win the line of scrimmage. Play elite defense. If Nico's got to beat him, guess what? He's a generational talent. We're going to go out and take care of business. Tennessee wins 34-17. UT punking for 10. My 10% talent fee for the X Factor. He ain't getting a dime of that. He cut me off my promotions. He ain't getting the. Guess what? I'm taking a 97% X Factor tax off the top of that, so he can have the rest. It's all good times. It's all good vibes. It's all busting balls. That's what we do right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. I enjoyed the ticket debate. I know some people were like, okay, can we move on? It's a conversation worth having because both sides of the argument have a valid point, and that's why we brought it here. And I think it worked out better that we were on different sides of the aisle so we could have a conversation. That is what this channel is all about. Again, video dropping tomorrow morning. Me and Coach Jay going live on Friday morning, 9 a.m. The game day breakdown. We about to record it. Coach Rice been doing his homework. Coach Jay been doing his homework. We are going to bring that to you Saturday morning bright and early and then get ready for that tailgate show and post-game show. But that is going to do it for this one. The least you can do. God, I've been miserable for an hour and 35 minutes. Can you at least just hit the thumbs up? I would appreciate it. I'd appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff.
And Nelson, you know it's all love, brother. You know it's all love.
X, you got anything else you want to say, bro, before we wrap up?
Now I say, Coach, you got something you want to say before we wrap up?
For Dauber, for the X Factor, for Coach Rice, my name's Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.
That we call home, and it's night.